Yeah, what's up, guys? Welcome to Comedian Bible Study with me, Sean Grant. This is the show where I trick my favorite people in the world to talking about my favorite thing, which is God. The voice that you're gonna hear off the camera is it's not God, it's Channing. What's up, Channing?
We can call me that.
It's close. He's close enough. He's a close second.
I keep the place pretty clean, and cleanliness is next to godliness.
There you go, Channing. Channing's gonna, he's our producer, man. Thank you for being here, Channing. But the most important brother in the room, man, I'm so excited. The people who you look up to the most, who you get to do these podcasts. This is the only reason I did the podcast. To have brothers like this on here, Channing. I don't know how I did it, but this brother found time in his schedule to be here. He's originally from Brooklyn, New York, but he's a legend all over the world. You've seen him. He's a BET Comic View All-Star, Laugh-A-Palooza, Def Jam legend. His first hour special is out right now. It's called Shang and Shangri. It has over 1 million views. It's on Amazon Prime. It's on Apple TV. Shang Forbes.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
I feel like we're doing a wrestler thing. And let me tell you something else, brother. Let me tell you, when God puts his hands down on you,
damn right.
You know the real meaning of healing.
Tell him, man.
Okay, so, man.
Dude, thank you for sitting down, discussing the Bible with me, man. I appreciate it. And now, first of all, before I even I'm shocked because I know you have over hours. This is really your first hour special, Shang and Shangri, because you got hours of material all over television.
No, it's my first hour. I've
together.
had 4 half hours. And then it's my first hour.
First altogether hour.
Where I did an hour straight.
Yeah.
Where I did an hour 25. We cut it down to 59.
Yeah.
Have 30 seconds bumper in, 30-second bumper out. So, and I produced it, and me and a brother named Nazi Islam edited it.
Yes, sir. Yeah. So you getting all that money, man.
Yeah, I've been lucky.
Nice, man.
It's gone all right.
Yes, sir. Guys, check it out if you haven't, but you probably have because everybody's seen it, man. But see it again.
Right, yeah.
See it again. But look, brother, so what's your theological stance at this moment in time?
I'm on the fence.
You're on the fence?
I'm on the fence. I fluctuate back between questioning logic, rationale, reasoning, and then just because faith, you can't analyze faith. Right. You got to just have it.
Yes, sir.
But I get caught in analyzing it sometimes, because I feel like if God gave me the brain and logic to question, then I'm going to question
for sure.
So if there is a God, he's got to know that there are going to be people that are going to question him
for sure
and question some of the choices that the all-powerful being would have.
For sure. Okay. Yeah. So we somewhere, all right.
In the mid, but I do believe there is something. I just don't think
some
that
creative design.
Right, but I think the Bible, because of Simon and Schuster and editors and King James, who was a jealous, basically narcissistic king that wanted to implement his power into the book. So it makes it convoluted for me.
For sure. All right.
So
cool.
I don't know if that was a weird way to start it off.
No, that's a perfect way to start it off.
But so I'm.
And then we're gonna finish it with a baptism, man.
Okay, wow. It's been so hot. Man. I would not mind a baptism.
Oh yeah.
It has been hot as Satan.
Guys, LA is insane right now.
Yeah, it's no joke. Yeah, that's really why you see me dressed like a football coach. Because I know it was just blazing when I came out. I said, "Oh man."
I thought somebody ordered a nurse when I saw you.
It does look like a nurse. Like Scrubs. Yes, it looks like Scrubs.
A buff nurse. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But all right, so the word you picked for today is John 11 verses. We'll do verses 35 through 37.
Right.
But you picked 35, but we'll do 35 through 37, and it's where so we'll start John 11:34. Where have you laid him? He asked. This is Jesus talking. Come and see, Lord. They replied. 35. Jesus wept. Shortest verse in the Bible. 36. Then the Jews said, see how he loved him? 37. But some of them said, could not, see these people, man? Oh my goodness. Some of them said, could not he who opened the eyes of the blind man have kept this man from dying? That's what they said. They gave criticism to Jesus. Shang, why did you pick this verse about? Oh, I'm sorry. Let me do the background. So this is the story of Lazarus. It's everybody knows the resurrection story. It's only mentioned in the book of John. It's not mentioned in the other synoptic gospels of Matthew, Mark, and Luke. And John deals with most of Jesus's divinity, his right to the God crown. The other ones deal with his right to the kingdom crown, the line of David and that stuff. So John deals with a lot of his this God essence, and it also includes the miracle at Cana, which was about water to wine. That one. So yeah, it deals with a lot of his divinity, and just if you don't know the story of Lazarus here, Jesus waits for 3 days for Lazarus to die. He waits for him to die and says, "What will happen next will be for the glory of God." Then his friend Lazarus died, and then 3 days after coming, he raises him from the dead. He tells him to roll back the tomb and all that, and Lazarus is alive. Shang, why'd you pick this first?
Okay, the fact that they questioned him. I'm like, like why the people I'm trying to show you I'm here.
Right.
Why are you questioning me? And then he had to pull the big dog card.
Right.
And be like, all right, well, I'm gonna bring this dude back to life.
Right.
And you gonna question me then?
I love it.
And
man.
they still did. And they still did. So when I think of the shortest verse, I think the fact he wept, I would weep too if I'm constantly trying to hook you up and make things right for you, and you're questioning me and persecuting me. So that's what makes me question humans and question religion, because it's like the backlash on it's crazy.
Right.
And
it's so human what these people are doing.
Yeah, it's human, but it sucks.
In the element.
It sucks, and it sucks.
Yeah.
And then when I got a little bit older, because my grandmother owned a
church in Brooklyn? Was it in Brooklyn?
No, in Pittsburgh.
In Pittsburgh.
And so I'd go there, and I'd have to go there, and I learned about the Bible then.
You remember the denomination? Was she Baptist or
Christian?
Just okay.
Baptist, yeah.
Baptist. Oh, word.
And it was a little heavy-handed for me.
Okay, very fire and brimstone type
a little
stuff.
bit, a little too much.
Yeah.
I'm 6. Chill out. Trying to figure out if Optimus.
You're going to hell, boy. Put the
I know. I'm trying to figure out if Optimus Prime gonna make it, because the Decepticons are pretty deceptive.
He ain't coming back, baby. But Jesus Prime.
Right, and if you look at the Bible, there's a lot of Decepticons.
Right. Yeah. Hey, man. But that's the cool thing, man. Is it talks about? I mean, most everybody in the Bible is a sinner, and David did his stuff and all that. But one thing we learned, one thing I love about this story, me particular, it's one of my favorite Jesus stories, is because he wept. The first thing, he had the way to solve the problem immediately. He came, he could have just raised Lazarus from the dead. But God, if you believe Jesus the way I do, the understanding of Jesus is that he's God in flesh. He's come down to experience humanity so that he can offer grace and be the atonement for all humanity, right? And so in order to do that properly, he felt like he had to experience humanness. He had to, because it's got to be silly to God that we cry, even though we come here for such a short amount of time, and we're mostly divine, we're mostly celestial, right? That's because you exist outside of time. You come here as a human, so why are you crying? Like you're gonna just come back. So
I'm giving you a but.
Yes, sir.
Okay, but the worst. Okay, the reason I'm on the fence pertaining to religion, the reason I leaned more towards atheism is because there's so many holes in the stories
of Lazarus,
of not just Lazarus, but the Bible itself. And then when you go to like a college where they teach you to question it, basically, like there was a thing they were telling us. Okay, God can do anything. So if he can do anything, he can create a rock so heavy he can't lift it. If he can't lift it, he can't do anything.
Or that God can't lift it?
If God can create something so heavy.
That's what they talk about philosophy class?
And so, yeah. So you're sitting there going, what?
Yeah, that's weird.
See,
they have stuff in the Bible that's designed to, because it's supposed to get you, even tongues, right? It's supposed to get you out of your mind. I didn't know that was their job too.
Well, no, yeah.
Because really your mind is limited, right? If God gave you a mind, it's limited. It's like it's like a computer, right? That's why it always fascinates me when people say they can change their mind, because what changed your mind? If you don't have a soul or anything outside of your mind, the computer can't change itself. Something has to upload something to the mainframe, right?
Right.
And I've changed my mind, like, because I grew up in church, but I didn't believe in that stuff. It was mumbo jumbo. And then I had a revelatory experience with God, so that's why it's just like it's revelation knowledge.
But it had to be something that was an epiphany that made you change.
For sure.
Okay, that's one.
Right.
And two, when you talk about religion, and the questioning of if there's a God, then why is there cancer for babies? I mean, if you're God, why would you give babies cancer? Right. What did they do? They didn't even get old enough to learn to choose you.
Right.
So you're gonna give him lung cancer.
Well, you consider the baby separate from God. You're saying like,
I'm saying, yeah, just like we are. I think, but
that's one way to look at it. It could be. It could be that in the
He
beginning
gives you
was the
free
word,
will.
and everything is a part of
Right.
God,
It's
right?
part of God. But if God gives you free will, or they say gives you free will to choose him or not choose him, then why? That means God's like giving you a chance to go, either you choose me,
Right.
or you know what the alternative is.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So why would God give babies cancer? Why would you drop a building on 1,900 kids in Ethiopia and kill them? They didn't do anything that would warrant that kind of wrath.
But even this story about Lazarus seems that God doesn't, because like you said, God can do anything. He can, like, life and death, like it's not, he kind of freed you from, the death is actually when you live. I know people that lived a long time and been dead for a long time. They never got to live out there, like how you're a comedian. You get to, I'm sure you know older brothers in your family that really lived like, but I mean before you, that didn't get to do and have the life that you've had because of their choices, because they didn't live in purpose, right? Maybe the baby, I mean, I'm not going to speak for God. I'm not God's lawyer. So please, all right? I'm not here to defend anything in my morality.
All right, God, God, where are the documents in Mar-a-Lago? I need to know.
You know what I mean?
Why would you have somebody like a Trump?
Right.
That is obviously got a percentage of Americans that think in a separatist way. Why would you have racism on Earth when we should be moving towards humanism and good things in life and trying to build to have a fruitful life? Instead, you separate people from race, color, and also religion. That's the other thing in philosophy class that I kind of got consumed with. Was why is it seem that religious wars are some of the most hateful wars?
The most hateful wars,
like most
venomous to the money wars, or
most venomous.
Because
they're
well, they all seem to say religion because they don't. You have to claim something bigger than yourself.
Something, right?
Bigger. That doesn't mean that they are, right?
Okay, it doesn't mean they are.
It doesn't mean they are. So I think the point would be if you actually are, right, like, and you have a oneness, right? That's why Jesus came and said. Literally, he defeated, if you have his mindset, if I love my enemy, it's impossible to have an enemy, right? Because an enemy is a relationship.
Right.
Even if you're trying to kill me, you're just a dude trying to kill me. That could happen. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think Martin Luther King considered a dude that shot him his enemy. Maybe after he shot him, if he had time. I hate that dude. But that's just a dude trying to kill you.
I just imagine.
Right?
Going,
That's it. That's
dude.
You're my enemy.
Yeah, you lucky I love God. I'd get up from here if I could. I mean, I see what you're saying.
It's a relationship. So once we take that away, and I don't think it's just a relationship that's limited in possibility to Christian faith, because I've seen, I saw the most moving thing on court cam or something where this Muslim brother, older guy, some guy gutted his son. His son was a pizza delivery man. And the guy gutted him, robbed him, and the man gave him forgiveness. Now, I've seen a lot of those things. I watched court case. You saw when the man started crying and he hugged him?
I saw that. I saw when
it's so transformative. It's the most transformative thing I've ever seen.
They forgave Dylan Roof, who, while they were praying, he came up behind them and shot 9 of them in a church in South Carolina. Most
of the time, and they call themselves Christians, some people, they get up there and I hate you, and I hope you die.
No, they forgave him.
And they don't move. Like, I'm talking about the person.
Yeah.
Because they have something to push up against, right? But forgiveness is it's transformative. Right. That's what Jesus came to offer: grace, forgiveness, and a way out from the beginning. Because if Adam committed sin, everybody did. Because there were circumstances that allowed. So the only thing that separates me and you is our circumstance,
but don't you
our
think
conditioning.
Adam and Eve, if you even look at Adam and Eve, okay, they basically, it says, they told you don't touch okay, we're gonna break
told Adam not to.
So Adam, right? But also,
Eve was deceived. Adam was not deceived.
Okay. Eve was deceived, but why would you put a snake there to deceive her?
Well, the snake consumed. So the snake was a fallen angel, and he came to earth to create
like Satan was.
Sin. So he is Satan. He was Satan.
Because Satan was a fallen angel.
Satan was a fallen angel, and he took the form of the serpent.
But why, if you are the most powerful being that created all,
right?
Why would you know that humans are fragile and easily duped, and you let a snake or basically a devil? I mean, like, if we say it that way, why would you put that so they could be tempted in any way, shape, or form?
Yeah.
Why would you even tempt them with an apple?
So I'd imagine. I think that they were like.
With an apple,
they think that's a John Milton thing. I don't know if the Bible doesn't quite say. It said forbidden fruit or from the tree of life.
Could have been papaya.
Could have been papaya.
Which, by the way, are delicious.
Right.
I just want to put that out there.
Yeah.
So, and if there is a God, I think God made fruit delicious.
Yeah. I mean, how do you explain that? Like, how do you explain if there is no God? I mean, I suppose, like you said on the fence, how does everything seem to have a design? Wouldn't that like make there have to be a designer? Like, you know how fruit, like everything has, like it goes down the ground and it has a goal.
Right.
It's
That's
goal.
on the fence.
It's goal driven, right?
That's
Everything in nature is goal driven. But humans have, and that's what gave them dominion over nature, at least in Genesis that you're talking about now, that they had self-awareness. So, being that you have self-awareness, you have a choice. Because I can't love you without a choice, right? If I don't have a choice, they had a choice to obey God in the beginning. I can choose to obey or I can choose not to. If your wife doesn't have a choice, then she doesn't love you, right? She's in bondage.
Why you bring up my wife, man?
Right. I don't know if she's tied up to
the bed.
She's
gone,
now.
man.
Shank's wife, run. No, I say you got time, baby. I'm gonna keep him here for an hour.
No.
But
no, I don't have a wife anymore. She's she decided that she I don't know, what is it called, a whore? Yeah. No. Wow. I put that out there. Wait. No, I'm kidding.
No.
I'm kidding.
Right,
I don't even know you no more.
Right. Wait, is that your wife? You have some boys, right? You have three boys? Two boys. Any girls? Just two boys?
Just two sons. Yeah.
Two sons. It was the same with the same.
No, one was from, I don't drink. And the one time I drank, because a bunch of comics, you comedians, are like, hey.
Started Shank's family.
No, they were like, hey, man, you got to try it once. And I was like, I don't know, man. I never drank.
How long were you in college before you drank? Wait, please.
4 years.
You were 4 years in, and then someone has pressured you into drinking.
Well, no, it was a bunch of comics saying, "Oh, you're visiting in L.A. You should have a drink." And I'm like, "No, I don't want to." And they're like, "It's not gonna hurt you." And then I went, "I'm a man, all right." And it was really sweet. So I thought, well, this is nothing. I never drank in my life.
I'm a red sour.
And it wasn't. It didn't even fruit. And then I drank one other one, and another one, and then I ended up with a kid.
A beautiful baby boy.
No, I love him to death. He just, And
he wasn't raised in church or with any religious ideology?
No, on his grandmother's side, yes.
Right.
But with me, I think because I was, again, fluctuating, and I've been fluctuating in most of my adult life, with question things.
Yes, sir.
Don't just, because there's some religions I believe that are detrimental to humankind.
Mm-hmm.
There's some religions that buck against what you might say in the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
And those are the religions that I don't want someone to be consumed with. Because white nationalists believe that all white people are above all.
Mm-hmm.
And God made that so.
Right.
White nationalists believe that Trump was sent here by Jesus to free America.
Right.
So if you have that delusional mentality, I don't want my son to be like, well, buy into that.
Right.
But because they use the Bible in all kind of ways. The one kid that shot a bunch of Latinos in El Paso, you know what he said?
Was it at the Walmart?
It really happened. Yeah, it was Walmart.
He went into Walmart, shot
and just started kids, everybody.
Right.
But part of his thing was that
he said somehow Jesus did that.
The Lord and Jesus bestowed him with the weaponry to make this happen.
Oh.
So I try to tell my son, don't buy into that.
That'd be like saying, you know who did that? Adam. He said, Lord, the woman you gave me. That's what he said. He blamed God immediately. So it's not a new thing that human beings are doing. Right? He looked at God. This is when you could see God, right? Looked right at him and said, the woman you gave me brought me this fruit.
Fault.
Her fault.
Right.
So here in the beginning, even like what Satan said to Eve, right? You remember what he said? He said, so because God doesn't want you to know as much as him. So now immediately with just that idea, we have the entrance of ego into humankind, right? Just that little idea that he knows more than me. There's a comparative nature to me and God.
Right.
So now that we do that, now we live in a society where the only way to know who you are, regardless of you got clothes on, water, food to drink, you're nothing if you don't compare. We look at Instagram. It's all in comparison. What am I in comparison to this? So even good to bad is comparison. White to black. Everything is ego, and everything requires some levels to it. And I think that's what Jesus came to free us from.
But if you were not questioning it, you couldn't question things. What would you think of the guy that went to, and you're right, it was El Paso, that did that. If you just bought into it, you'd be like, well, I mean, I know those people got massacred in the Walmart because they came there just to buy some socks.
Right.
But hey, man, Jesus told him to do it. So, and it's if it's God's
Somebody
will.
who read this book say that?
The guy
he said it. Yeah, but like I said,
it,
people in this book lied on God.
The group that he was part of.
Oh, they all.
Because they went back and looked through his Facebook and his postings,
right.
and the groups he was in. All of them said that. Yeah. And so when you look at that, when you look at the guy in Charlottesville who ran over the young lady,
it's terrible.
Again, he was part of that group, and all of them felt like that they were bestowed by God to do heinous things like this. So the reason I've talked to my son about it is I said, don't buy into that thought process and use that as I consider it an excuse to do something crazy.
It's crazy, man.
But that really happened. When I first, I don't get shocked that often, but when I saw that dude in Charlottesville, literally ram people with his car and then run over the woman, back up on her, and then run and go forward.
Golly.
And then that's when I start getting into my fluctuation of why would this lady didn't do nothing? Why would God let this happen?
Right.
So
I think and it's terrible what we do to
that's
each other,
pretty,
and then we put it on God.
And no, but that literally, if you look it up, it's not called white nationalists because there's Christian white nationalism.
Right.
So when you see that, and they can say,
and I'm glad they label it like that too, because they also label Islamic terrorists.
Right.
So
yeah,
they
do.
Put their religion in front of it.
They put the religion in front of it.
It's unfortunate that inherent is that it's Jesus Christ, but which clearly there's no way you could look at anything, any example from the life of Christ, anything he said,
and say that,
and come to that conclusion.
Right. And I know Jesus.
So it's a mental illness that these people are. Yeah. But if I'm mentally ill and I say in the name of Shang, because I rocked Shang and Shangri, and I was angry, and I went down to the wall. I mean, I could do that.
Yeah, but that's what giant groups of people are doing.
Right.
You got to think 36% of Americans buy into this.
Yes, sir.
So, and I'm sure Jesus is like, I had nothing to do with this.
Right.
You chose to do that. But if you have a group of people and you keep telling them like subliminal messages, the Christian nationalists are the ones that told you to do this. And they buy into it.
Because there's no way you can understand this book and think that anybody in it is white. No offense, Channing. There's no way.
I don't think Channing's taking it that way.
No, I know, but he's one.
I'm only half.
Oh, well. No, but I mean.
Good, because I'm about to quit.
No, but if you look at it, and it's easily, anybody that's watching this, you can easily Google it and find it. First I thought it was another place, but you're right, it was El Paso. When I see instance after instance after instance, and people take onus on, well, this is the Bible and this is God's will, and then the people that forgive them, just like down in South Carolina, which was amazing. Now that kind of threw me. That's when I fluctuate back, because they didn't come to the court, even though they had massacred 9 people. The Dylan Roof had shot these 9 people. They came to the church and forgave him. They forgave him, and then I go, oh man, now y'all got me back on it. It's back and forth. Because when I see the heinousness and then I see the forgiveness, but it's like this, like, wait a minute, which is it?
Yeah,
But that's some heavy. That was heavy, dude.
It's terrible, and it's gonna be heinousness, man. And it's like almost. I don't know what's gonna cure it.
Okay, well,
I don't know if you now you take the choice away, then you have robots that just do God's will, which is not doing God's will, right? But then you have people like those people in that church, man, who can, for the glory of God or for whatever, right, inspire. This
pretty intense.
Be an experience.
Yeah.
Let's just say we're like God breathed the breath of life in us. So I think it's fair to say that you're a piece of God experiencing creation, right? The part of you that is pure. It's the essence of God, right? In the beginning, it was God.
Okay, I can rock with you on that.
Light, right? He said, let there be light, and then he said, let us make men. So the light was Christ, right? Because there was a us now. He said, let there be light. That's not the sun, because he didn't make the sun till the 4th day. So what was the light that was separating the darkness? Oh, it was the light of awareness, consciousness, Christ, right? That makes you have the ability to be self-aware and the ability to say, well, I don't want to live out my purpose. I want to go, dog doesn't have that choice. He can't decide he's a cat or anything like that. He lives.
Not nowadays. That's a pronoun.
I'm not doing that.
I'm just saying.
I'm not doing that.
I can.
That's not what I meant to do.
I'm identifying myself.
I saw what just happened.
Yeah, I'm identifying myself
Didn't mean that.
as a fern.
But you know what I'm saying? You have self-awareness so you can make choices that are heinous, that are not heinous, that are whatever, I can do foul to you, but I'm doing it to myself in so much as I do it to you. I'm literally, Jesus said, love your neighbor as thyself, not as much as yourself. That's different. As that is you. I am you. If I was born in Brooklyn, New York, and I with your family and your skin tone at your time, I would be you. If I had every single experience you've had, but I would be a conditioned whatever you see what I'm saying? Yeah. And you would be me, right? So everything you do, I'm responsible for in that way.
In the Bible, if it says that you're supposed to respect others as you respect thyself.
He said, love others as thyself, not as much as you love, as that's you. That's,
right, like basically treat people like you want to be treated, and on and on. If you break it down, it's. But my thing is, I think the heinous stuff sometimes overweighs my mind thought process pertaining to religion, because I go, yo, when are you gonna stop doing this? Right. You ain't gonna step in. You ain't gonna step in at all.
Your body started attacking itself.
It's like, when you gonna step in?
If we're all the body, right, and Jesus is the head. This is how Paul paints the picture, right? Jesus is the head. So we're literally it would be like if you looked inside your body and cells and organs started attacking themselves. Right.
Which they do.
You're doing it exactly. They did, and that's what cancer. Cancer, some people think, is a part of evolution, or it's cells regenerating too much. But it's a part of some type of evolution that's going on in people. This is what scientists say, right? So we judge it as good or bad, right? Whereas because it's happening to us and it's shortening our lifespan, or it might affect somebody that we. But for the evolution of people, it's something that is happening because of whatever environment or our need to generate more cells. Who knows? Right? I'm not a scientist. I'm sure somebody in the comments.
But even scientists, if you look at scientists. If you listen to scientists, which scientists have debunked a lot of things that people back in the day thought was, well, God did this, Jesus did this, and you find out, no, it's photosynthesis. But then you got to go, then it's such a back and forth, because then you go, well, who created photosynthesis?
Right, and then why is photosynthesis?
Which is first, the chicken or the egg?
Well, that would get into so almost no atheist, and I spoke to David Smalley last week, can debunk deism, right? Deism is not specific to theism. Theism is a particular God. Deism is that this is design, right? So even if you look at photosynthesis or DNA, right? Right. And you're like, there's messages in DNA. There's literal, because if science came from if the universe came from randomness, then more random things would happen, right? Because then you couldn't reproduce certain effects that happen in science. Because that's the only thing that allows science, is that we can redo the thing over and over again. Every time I plant this and pour water and it's this season, this grows this way, right? Now, if there wasn't a creative design and a goal-based thing to the elements that I'm using, then I couldn't recreate. It would just randomly, gravity would just fly up out of here. Everything would be random if that was the nature of the universe. But clearly there's some creative process.
There's some kind of design.
There's a universe that's expanding and is going to contract, right? Because something created it. In order for that to be true, it had to have a creator, because it has a beginning and an end.
But on like, if we talk about how we're on Earth and we exist now, and we look at how things are going, the reason I fluctuate so much and go back and forth, because I know that, like, you can go like, well, if there's photosynthesis, somebody came up with photosynthesis. Well, who is that person? There got to be something there. But at the same time,
a person, like a mind
or a higher entity that created, like you said, some kind of uniformity to make this happen. Yes, and design. But I think that I've been myself personally been tainted by so much stuff that I've seen that's heinous, and it makes me question or have almost like a vindictiveness. Pertaining towards some religious people that justify their heinousness. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
Through religion. There's so many people that use religion.
But they would use something. Well, and everybody has religion.
We were kind of talking about that last week with like guys like Kenneth Copley and those televangelists who do all that bullshit.
Channing is fascinated by this. Yes, bring it up again, Channing.
Well, he's a televangelist. He does everything in the name of God.
Right.
But it's obviously that he's a snake oil salesman who's only looking to take from people.
Yeah.
But he does everything in the name of God, and he justifies himself by saying, well, I'm a preacher, I'm an evangelist, so God has willed this on.
That's
me.
what I mean.
Here's how he's more atheist probably than both of you guys, because he doesn't believe it to the point where I'll just benefit. I'd be a fool not to, because nothing's going to happen to me.
That's wrong.
Absolutely.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I need an airplane. Why do you need an airplane? Because God needs me to pray to people faster than other people.
He goes, but
you're talking about Creflo. You're talking about Creflo Dollar, but
no.
He needed a plane as well. Oh, okay, because Creflo, it wasn't quite. He needed it for a mission.
He needed it for a mission.
So
when you see, and also when you see, not only the heinous stuff I've seen, and other than that, aside from that, and the people who use religion to kind of, like, hey, that wasn't me, man. Come on, man. Right. God told me to shoot this dude in the face. Then you see these snake. That's a great way to put it. That's a great way to put it. Snake oil salesmen.
Right.
Then you see a bunch of them where the congregation is dirt poor, and this dude rolls up, and I can't remember the one pastor. He had a Rolls Royce Hummer. That means they had to make it was crazy looking.
Oh shit.
It was like
that's two different types of car.
I
thought you were going to say a limo.
No.
A Rolls Royce Hummer.
It was the craziest thing.
That's like a Liger of vehicle.
Yes, basically. We're gonna make these two, and we're gonna make it happen. So when I see that, and I go that he's milking these people, and the people believe in him and believe that, well, I had to give him my last $50 because it was the will of God.
Well, you know what's sad about those people, and I'm not victim blaming or shaming, because everybody, there's a sucker born every day. But they don't read this thing, right?
They won't read it.
They won't read it, and they want to pay somebody to read it for them, rather than have a true relationship with their Bible.
That is a great point.
A true relationship with God. First of all, you don't need the Bible to have a relationship with God and have common sense. Although the Bible will tell you, right, like, be wise as a serpent, yet harmless as a dove, right? So I can see through somebody trying to play me.
Right.
And a lot of people think because I'm like, I'm from Miami first, so my conditioning is anger and reactive, right? But what the work that Christ does in me allows me to assess and not be as reactive. Does that mean it's impossible for me to react? Well, no. And I can take stuff from the Bible because I know it and say, I whooped your ass in the name of the Lord. Paul said, if a righteous man strikes me, it's kindness. So I might be doing you a favor, whooping your ass because you talk too much shit. But I'm not going to do that because I know better. I know that that's my ego protecting itself the way it always has. So for me to allow Christ,
Well, first off, you're an anomaly. Flat out, you are an anomaly because guess what? A lot of people don't think that way. A lot of people don't think that way. And a lot of these snake oil salesmen that milk, they absolutely milk these.
It's terrible.
I think it's horrible. So when I see that, I mean, these mega churches, one of them, I was watching it on a documentary about religion.
Yes, sir.
And I was watching it, and they were trying to justify these stained glass windows, each one of them, that literally could turn around a neighborhood, was worth $500,000.
Yeah.
Per window. Now this place looked like a mall. It was huge. It had to have at least 50 windows. So I was like, so they were, balking about, well, I need the money so we can have these beautiful windows for God to see us through. And then I saw these sheeple, and that's what I call them, sheeple, that sat there and went, oh yeah, let's give them all our money. And then he justified it.
Right.
And so by the end of the thing, even though I watched it just because it caught my eye, it made me go, that's why I always fluctuate. This is the bullshit I see. And so when I see that, but then if you have an interpretation, an interpretive relationship with the Bible, because that's part of, you have to interpret it.
Wow.
So when I was reading it with my grandmother, it was like, oh, I could take it in a little bit better because of the way she broke it down.
Right.
But if you just read the Bible verbatim, there's a lot of women hey, would have been stoned today. They would have been
for reading it, you're saying, or for
no, for anything.
Oh yeah.
You're like, hey, you know what? Skirt's a little too tight.
Right, but see,
somebody give me a bag of rocks
about Scripture, right? Because Satan knows Scripture, right? And in fact, Satan used it to try to tempt Jesus when he was fasting and he went up to the mountain. He went up the mountain to be tempted by the devil, right? That was the purpose of him going up there. Fasted, Satan hit him with Scripture, and he said, "Thou shalt not tempt the Lord." He hit him with more Scripture because he knows the Bible. He's God. Right, so he tried to say, if you are the Son of God, jump off. Shouldn't you be able to make that stone bread? He was like, but don't you? Isn't it also written that man shall not live off bread alone? Right, that man should live by.
It's a lot of back and forth.
So, but at the end of the day, Satan had to walk off because he doesn't know the word the way he doesn't live the word. He uses the word. David beat me for the Bible belt last week. He's an atheist. And he knows he can understand it, but if you don't have a relationship with God, you can easily misunderstand it. So what that says is there's no God man in you connected to this. It's just words, and I can convince you one way or the other, shift you because you have no actual relationship with God, right? With whatever you want to call it, you don't have that.
Well, see,
so if you go to, I'm sorry, if you take the part of the Bible where I just lost it. It was what you just said, women being stoned, right? Yeah. And they go to Jesus to try to put him in a legalistic conundrum. The conundrum is Moses said, this is the law. This woman cheated on her man. She needs to be stoned, right? But this man, claiming to be God, his grace, he says that she should be forgiven. So if we make him forgive her, right, in front of everybody, we're going to discredit him because he's now against Moses, and everybody's going to turn. So the Sadducees brought her to him, said, what do we do with him, teacher? What do we do with this woman who's done this? There's a crowd. He's playing in the dirt, ignores him the first 2 times, right? Then he gets up, says the dopest thing I've ever heard Jesus say. I love Jesus for this. He gets up, he said, yes, it's true. This woman sinned, and the wages of sin is death. The wages of all sin is death, right? But let he who is without sin
cast the first stone.
And this dude is already telling everybody's business, right? Because he's been doing this. He went up to the woman at the well. Yeah. He knows your business. So if you want him to do this, if you want to lie to God, then what I love next, the older people left first. Because they know, I'm old. I ain't going to play like that. Young people try to justify themselves.
Somebody going to hit me with a brick. The
elders of them left first.
Because the older people know that they did dirt.
And the woman said, and he looked at the woman, he said, he didn't look at her, he was still playing dirt. He said, where are your accusers, woman? And she said, they're gone, Lord. He said, and he's the only one left that has the ability, because he's lived out the law, 613 Mosaic laws perfectly. He said, go and sin no more. Because he has the ability, he's without sin. Go and sin no more.
Okay, but let me ask you this.
Do what he wants.
Okay, and again, because I wouldn't say I'm like when you say atheist, because I still believe there's some kind of higher power that actually navigates something.
Yes, sir.
But I still question it because, just like you said, there is a back and forth with the thought process of it. And when I see so much stuff that leans towards, and if anything, they say, well, Satan is not stronger than God. But if you look at the earth and what's going on in the world, it look like he's winning.
What are you talking about? With people? Like in their hearts?
With people in their hearts.
Yeah. Yeah, that's unfortunate how God...
Dude.
The battle's already won, and because people live... And what keeps people in that sin, man, when they make a mistake is that condemnation, that inability to admit it, and you keep living that out. You keep living it out.
Why would you make people so easily duped?
Right.
I mean, if you
you gave them a pathway.
I gave you, but what I'm saying is, you can give them a pathway all day, but if they're too dumb to know that's a pathway, and you make masses of people that stupid,
right?
A bunch of window lickers that just don't know the difference,
right?
They're never going to be able to be swayed.
Right.
Religion can't even sway them, because they're basing their decisions on what they perceive as religion.
Right. And then what happens, too, is how we're calling them a they now. They're going to defend themselves because they consider themselves separate from us, right?
Right.
And that's the idea. Is like, so now I can't even though you're trying to help them, the fact that we just called them stupid and that made them
I call them, no,
us,
you know what? You know what? Just like I call a rock, a tree's a tree. If you continue to, what's the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. If you're banging your head against a wall over and over again, and I'm trying to help you and go, hey, don't do that, man. That's why your head hurts.
Right.
And you go, no, I ain't stopping. You ain't gonna stop me from banging my head. I got free will. Plus God told me, or whatever reason they use. Then I feel like that's when I start calling people stupid.
Yeah, and you gotta let them be stupid.
Let them be, yeah. But then you say, well, then you're labeling them.
Right.
And then they feel like, well, you're labeling me. Well, then stop.
And they defend it, like, because now you've given me something to defend.
You can't tell me not to bang my head against the wall. That type of thing.
Yeah.
And that's what happens with religion. I think with religion, when there was a movie, and even though it's just a movie, The Book of Eli.
Yes.
And Denzel was basically trying to save the Bible, so people could. Have you seen the movie?
Yeah, he was blind.
He was trying to basically the crux of it. So the villain in it, Gary Oldman, I think it was.
Gary Owen.
Not Gary Owen, that comedian. Was that Gary Owen guy? No, he said that it's not a Bible. He said it's not just a book. From his perspective, it was a weapon.
Yeah.
And he said, this is something I can use to weaponize and make all these people do whatever I want. Because if you don't, God might not like it. And if God might not like it, you will burn in hell forever.
Yeah.
And so people do heinous stuff.
And it's insane because, like you said about the King James Bible, which was made in 1604, with errors, by the way. The first one it said instead of God's greatness, it said God's great ass. You can look it up. Somebody probably got killed for that.
Yeah.
So to say that it's any translation of the Bible, right, is inerrant, or that literally the first copy there was errors, right? Like it can be, there's so many ways to manipulate, but they didn't want to translate it to English because they didn't want it accessible to the majority of people in that region of the world. Like when he made it, they were like, it should only be in either Aramaic, the original scripture language, or the Greek, what the epistles were, which were written in Greek, right? And they didn't want everybody to be able to read it. But now that even everybody can read it, they don't. And they allow somebody, that's why I'm trying to have critical thinkers, brothers who actually can think, maybe read it, even if it's a couple lines.
But I have, I've read the bulk of it.
And you know,
but Simon and Schuster re-edited the Bible.
You in the King James version or the NIV?
They re-edited it, and it's in hotels all over across America. And you just like they're trying to do with critical race theory in Florida, what they're trying to do where they're like, hey, we're not going to tell you the history. We're going to tell you what we believe we feel is the history.
Right.
And then we're going to tell you to your face, hey, slavery had an upside. There was a whole upside. And plus you learned a skill as a blacksmith while I was raping and beating you. But at least you learned a skill. So after you're free. I mean, that's what they're doing in Florida right now. They're taking certain books and they're taking books away. Yeah. But they're putting their version of the Bible.
And what's crazy, and last week David came on.
DeSantis. Did I call him DeSantis? Yeah, I did.
DeSantis.
Okay, that was an accident.
Right. Satanist.
DeSantis. It sounds close to Satan, doesn't it?
Man, let me tell you something.
But did you know that's happening right now?
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm from Florida. I'm from Miami.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I'm from Miami.
That's right. You from Miami. Yeah. So when I see that, and I see him gaining momentum, and I'm seeing him saying that black people can't learn about their history, and because it makes white people feel bad.
Oh man,
that's what he said.
Well, David, so David used Leviticus. There's something about slaves and Leviticus,
right?
Bequeathing them to you. So last week, David Smalley, shout out to him. It was a great show, by the way. Super funny guy. But he brought up, he was comparing Egyptian and Hebrew slavery, basically, to the American slavery that we First of all, it's more comparable to the prison industrial system because you're just benefiting from people who've done criminality. But African slavery is breeding. You put a bag over somebody's head, make him have sex with his mama. You have losing your culture, your name. Your name ain't Forbes, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But it has no, like literally, you could leave 400 years of Egyptian slavery with Passover still intact, with the scriptures still intact. Right. The only reason we're able to still be Christian, right, is because, as we know, Christian follows the Judaic line. The Torah, the Tanakh is the Old Testament, and then we get to the epistles, which is in the Synoptic Gospels and John, which make up the New Testament. But anyway, yeah, so that's how we are even able to have this Bible, is because the Egyptians didn't do that to the Jews and let them be Jewish people. But they were just in bondage to us until God betrayed them.
And even happened. This, can I mention this?
You can't compare nothing to American slavery.
You can't compare nothing to it. And you know what? When it comes to Jewish people,
shit.
Wait a minute. Hold on. No. When it comes to Jewish people,
I'm gonna turn this mic down.
No. You can say Jewish people.
You can say
when you say that. Hitler thought he had a divine reason.
Oh, for sure. Oh, sorry.
Oh, you got it? I'm sorry.
Oh, somebody said,
no, he felt that his
yeah,
the heinous things he did. I've used heinous 20 times a day.
Oh, yeah.
But that he did to the Jewish people was justified in his mind.
Yeah.
Dictators believe that. Dictators believe that they got divine right. So my whole journey pertaining to religion, because I initially was like, oh, yeah, okay, this makes sense. But then as I got older, the questioning of it kept nagging me.
Right.
The why is this happening? Why is that happening? So like when you see people like, God, why are you doing this to me? And I don't feel that way because I don't feel that way myself. But I've seen people say that. Mm-hmm. Like, why would God do this to me? Why would God take my daughter away in a car accident? Why would it do that? She was a good person.
Right.
So the only reason I fluctuate, and I didn't know we was going to get this deep, and I usually joke more, but I think that makes me normal and human.
Yeah, absolutely.
To question, like, you really going to let this happen? You going to let them shoot everybody up in that? Yeah. In Vegas, the dude, that was another one. The dude in Vegas at
Shut
the country.
Up at the country music.
Yeah, that really, I was telling a friend, he said, no, he didn't do that. I'm like, yes, he did.
Right.
They were saying that. And then when you look at his background and why he did it, again, it goes back to a group think of, well, my group is allowed to do stuff like this because
he's a white supremacist. Oh no, he shot at white people. What was he?
It
was a country concert. He only shot white people.
He only shot white people.
What was his thing? What was his group?
They never released why he did it. There's a bunch of conspiracy theories.
It was conspiracy. Yeah, but
CIA psyop bullshit, all that. It's still going on.
It's still going on.
Okay, so they didn't put Jesus in that one.
No.
I know, because if you look at it, no,
blaming
but
Jesus.
I'm not making this up. They are literally called, if you can look it up, it's called white Christian nationalists.
Yeah.
That they feel like anybody that doesn't have pure, I guess, Aryan blood, I don't know if I'm saying it right, even if you have a drop of somebody else's blood,
right,
you're not allowed to be.
Yeah.
And I just feel like I wish that we could, or like when I did pray, because I don't pray as much, I would be like, just
you don't meditate, none of that stuff?
Yeah, well, yeah, sometimes. But I just feel like, make it better. Make it better between us. Make us see each other as the God within us instead of, I hate that guy.
Right.
And when I do, and then I get disappointed over and over again, that's when I start going back towards the other, not atheist, but I go towards just like, I don't know if I rock with this.
Right.
And then I'll see somebody forgive somebody in court, and I'll go, well, I gotta be.
Right.
I mean,
I can see somebody with God, and regardless of whether, I consider myself somebody that disciplines himself in the way of Christianity, right? True Christianity, like to be like Christ. This is where the word disciple comes from. But now I see somebody like Malcolm X, a God man who's not necessarily a flesh man. And perhaps we have different, whatever, the idea, because in the Islamic faith, they believe Jesus was a prophet, not the son of God, blah, blah, blah. But rather than see the differences, the slight differences in textuality, they use the New Testament and the Old Testament.
Right.
In fact, I had Ramsey on last week, a great conversation, super funny guy. But it's like, rather than see that, see the power in a man that disciplines himself. I mean, I see you as a comedian, somebody that every time I go out, I mean, I don't always say something to you, but your religion, I don't want to say your religion is comedy. Yeah, I know you don't worship comedy.
No,
but
you do
it religiously. You're out everywhere.
I work.
I've seen you work at a messed up, I'm like, ain't nobody gonna kill in this room. There's some bar, and when we went to San Diego, and you had that place, you would have thought it was Carnegie Hall. You turn a bar, because it's power, the power of disciplining yourself over a period of years.
You can
say no to certain things and say yes to
because you're an anomaly. Purpose. I'm stunned your unicorn horn is not showing. You're like, no, I'm telling you, there's a lot of people that you can see the good in some people. I try to see the good in people. And when I see so much bad in people, it makes me go, that's why I question the Bible so much. That's why I question religion. So I think that somebody told me I need a tipping point.
Right.
Or like you had an epiphany. Because that's what you said, pretty much. Something made you go,
right.
Am I right?
Right. Yeah.
I need that.
Yeah.
And if without that, it's gonna be tough for me.
Oh no, I mean, but yeah, I mean, you're there. I mean, so let me ask you. I wanted to ask you this because real quick, because
okay,
I wrote a bunch of.
I saw the little like. Yeah.
No, I haven't asked none of my questions, which is cool. I mean, first of all, there's no.
I didn't know.
There's no limit to that. We could go forever if anything. But what I want to ask you because. And it's because it just interests me. I know you've been around comedy for so long, and you've seen guys come and go, right? But and I feel like we're gonna disagree, but then I'm gonna convince you to my guy, right? If you could resurrect, or if Jesus gave you the power to resurrect one comedian who's gone right now, and you could do that, who would you bring back?
Dick Gregory.
Dick Gregory. Okay.
Yeah, because I think Dick Gregory had a message in his madness and in his comedy, and I think
that's a great choice. I love Dick Gregory.
I think Dick Gregory and then somebody else. Paul Mooney. Yeah. Even though Paul Mooney was a bitchy man.
Now I'll say this. Here's my guy, right? And because you from Brooklyn, his brother's from Brooklyn as well. Rashid Thurman. Now I say Rashid Thurman
that's actually a good
because
choice.
I think he's a great choice, and it's no disrespect to anybody, to Dick Gregory, to the greats. I love Richard Pryor, Red Fox, and Paul Mooney, Race, one of the greatest albums. But we saw their prime. In my opinion, I feel like we saw Dick Gregory's prime. We saw Paul Mooney's prime in maybe the night.
And this guy, we didn't see his prime.
I don't think we got to see Rashid Thurman's prime.
I agree.
I feel like even just that style of comedy going into that period. It was at 05 or the Bad Boy. You did Bad Boys too, right?
No, I didn't do.
You didn't do Bad Boys. Okay.
I did Def Jam and Def Jam All-Stars.
Def Jam All-Stars. So it's like, but to see that style was just coming into fruition because there wasn't no Hannibal Buress yet, or like the guys who. Because he could still rock a crowd even with the.
But he wasn't super hype and jumping all over the place.
Yeah,
right.
Just come out super.
Oh, yeah. I don't.
How y'all doing? I'm glad.
Yeah. No. He Franklin Ajay is.
Franklin Ajay, yeah.
Brilliant.
I would say you first black alt comic, damn near.
Yeah, he to me like that was
low
another
energy
person.
Type of.
That's
yeah.
another person that I looked to, but I mean, yeah.
Franklin's still alive, right? Franklin Ajay is alive.
Yeah, but he's in. Last time. To my knowledge, he was in Australia. Yeah, living in Australia, because he said that people are a little bit more chill. No, Americans are like nuts.
Tripping. Yeah.
Don't you? No, come on, you got to admit, Americans.
We're high strung.
Yeah, so that's. I mean, I didn't even know we had questions. We we started rocking out.
And I was vibing, man. I really wanted to ask you that just because I know that you've seen so much of this. You came up in that time, man, and I know I got some more. Hold on, man. Have you ever? It was something good. Cause I know. So
he forgot. He was like, "Oh, we just didn't even do the question."
Yeah, I didn't. I usually be looking at this thing, man, and I'm like, "Dang, I won't go wait. I won't keep you for too long, man, because I've got enough money to keep Shang for too long." But I wanted to.
This is a great setup, by the way. Yeah, and it's good you're doing this.
He's yeah.
No, I'm saying this is a great setup, and it's good you're doing this because a lot of times you won't get this kind of information and conversations with comics.
Right. Dude, that's exactly.
You never see that.
Yeah. I can only talk about females and stuff so long, and LeBron. I mean, that's great conversation.
And most of my conversations with people who aren't comics has nothing to do with comedy. We talk about life, what is the position of where you could find some kind of semblance of consistent happiness.
Right.
Like my thought process, aside from comedy, is how do I make sure that I can be calm and happy?
Right.
And I think calm comes before happy.
Absolutely. I would call calm peace.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
There's a peace because it's like a baseline.
I just want to. Like I know the young me would have like immediately.
You didn't have no peace.
No, I would want to choke somebody.
Yeah.
But now I just go. What is it worth? Is it worth me hurting somebody or somebody hurting me? And it's so the stuff that before that mattered just doesn't matter. How do we make it better? And that's why I say when I used to pray, this is back in the day, I would pray for us to have some kind of humans, not black, white, or anything, just people.
Right.
Try to make it better.
Yeah.
Try to go forward. If you get some gift like if you go believe in God, then God gave you a gift of life.
Right.
Make other people's lives better. And then it's hard for me when I see people that purposely, intentionally try to make people's lives worse.
And that's what I wanted. So with
that's
conversion,
rough.
did anybody? Because I think that, like you just said, just be the light. Because that's what God said, even in the beginning of John, where it says, which is the book that we're in, he says, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. Right. But then he gets to the point where he's talking about Jesus, where he said, and then he was the light that was the life of all men. He came in, the darkness understood him not. So just be the light, right? First of all, there is no dark. Darkness is just the absence of light. The science will tell you that, right?
Right.
Darkness is not an actual thing. But if you live, rather than evangelize with people, what's the worst that somebody's done as far as trying to convert you, whether it's to Islam or to Christianity? Nothing. Have you ever had an experience?
I don't think anybody's. To me, I don't see that as worse. I see that as somebody
probably too scared.
No, I think people.
She ain't gonna cuss me out.
No, I think it's people that they just feel strong enough that they want to help me find peace.
Right.
I never look at it like if I'm sitting out next to somebody in the airport and they're talking to me about the Bible or Jesus, I listen.
Yeah, and you can see when somebody has peace. It's immediate, like, because that's peace to me, rather than the dude on the side of the road. You're going to hell. You ain't got no peace,
But
brother.
a lot of people
You want
do
me
that.
to be like that?
There's a guy in Hollywood.
You think you can evangelize like that?
There's a guy in Hollywood, and he walks around with the sign,
you're going to
hell, and Satan's waiting for you in your bedroom. On the sign, I went, well, you're not going to convince me with that sunshine. Thanks for that chipper.
Satan in my house?
Yeah, like Satan's under my bed.
How you know the guy?
But the dude is out there. It's he's always on Hollywood Boulevard in Highland.
Yeah.
And he's crazy to me because instead of trying to talk to somebody and maybe give them some instances, you immediately go, hey, you're going to hell.
Right.
And I think that turns people off.
Effectiveness. They're having a big crowd.
But that's
people will gather around somebody like that.
Oh, no, he gets a crowd. But what I'm saying is, instead of using, like, I wish some evangelists would stop using fire and brimstone and just be a little bit more, explain yourself instead of immediately go to, you're going to burn in hell for eternity. Right. Give me some options before you go there, bro.
How do I use this in life? I get heaven, hell, okay, but what good is this?
You're not helping me.
I'm like, this can help you.
But a lot of pastors go immediately to the fire and brimstone instead of. I've been in churches where I said, this dude made me feel worse.
Right.
I feel like if I pull a tag off a mattress, I'm going to hell.
I came into a hospital sick, and you started whooping my ass.
That is exactly it.
But
there's a lot of churches where they have the pastors where it's like, and God said, and you're going to hell, and if you don't do this, and if you don't put money in the collection plate, and all that, and I'm sitting there going, hey, I felt bad. I wanted to feel a little bit better today, and that's why there was a singer called Life. His name was Life.
Life Jennings?
Life Jennings. Yeah. Oh, yeah. See, some people, I say his name, people go, and he had a thing about the fact that they judged him in church.
Church hurt. Yeah, some church hurt.
And because he didn't have any dress shoes, he had on Timbs.
My God.
And so a lot of people in the church were condemning him.
Yeah.
Instead of embracing him.
See, y'all so stupid, man. And that's why they run to the comedy club.
Instead of,
yeah.
I'm coming here for guidance.
Right.
And I've been at church where literally I saw people talking shit about each other instead of embracing each other.
Right.
So instance after instance after instance like that is what shaped me to be kind of
so dumb. You could go into a bar with sandals on, but you talking about you can't come to church. So who you think gonna win? Who seems more inviting? My granddaddy got church hurt. He went to a church and the man said he's Jamaican. He came to a Jamaican church. Yeah, my people Jamaican. Yeah,
I was born there.
By way of England. You know, that's my. But he went to a church in Jamaica to see Uncle Willie, his uncle, preach, and some dude said, "Hey, boy, in my seat." He got so scared he never went back to it. He's 78 years old. He was in his 20s. The man told him he was in his seat. Actually, I took him back to church, and he was so scared that somebody was gonna. He was like, "Is this not nobody's seat? Is it?" Like, I'm like, "It's a
That's
pew.
what I mean.
It's
so
fine."
until I figure a different way instead of being aggressive and
talking about no hats and this.
Yeah,
man,
let us just let people just find their way. If they're going to find their way to God, let them find their way. And I don't think it matters they got on a Mets jersey.
That's why it's so powerful if comedians, because we have no ulterior motives. We'll do this for free. We'll do this for...
we've done many a show for free.
You can't not do it. There's pastors that won't lead a couch unless you hitting certain numbers.
That's true. Yo.
Comedians...
The guy you were talking about's like that.
Kenneth Copeland?
Oh my God, he's like,
He
hey,
get off the couch.
I need $100,000 speaking fee
to talk to you. Yeah, just for this
and
phone
so
call it costs you.
So
we have a power. If we can understand this thing, man, I feel like because we're such.
You got to slip it in on people though.
Yeah, and learn how to. And we're just so plagued with things corrupting us, man. I want to get to this trivia before I get you out of here. But I just
gotta have a little bit more finesse.
Yeah, I love what you're talking about.
Pastors, have a little bit more finesse. Quit telling me I'm immediately going to go to hell because I'm not thinking the way you think I need to think immediately.
Oh, my God.
People that are trying to heal need time to, I don't know, heal.
Right.
And that was perfect.
Yeah.
I came here to heal, and you're beating my ass. You're not helping me. So
thinking of beating your ass. Here you go. I got the Bible belt, Shannon. I gotta win it back because an atheist beat me last week.
He's gonna get this belt because maybe it's showtime, people.
Show it to the pit. Yeah, I haven't seen this. You know, this is all Channing, so he says hard, so we gonna see.
It's gonna be.
Well, it's not all Channing. He gets it from a website, right, Channing?
Yeah,
okay.
I don't come up with these. I don't know enough about it to ask any questions. Shane, before we get started, do you want to do quiz number 5 or quiz number 6?
5.
We're going to go with quiz number 5.
Dun, 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 dun.
You are representing the guests who currently hold the belt.
They're holding it
David
right
C.
now.
Smalley took the belt last week.
Yes, he did.
He took the belt off.
Yes, he did. He came. He had the power of Satan. Well, honestly, he's an atheist.
So
great guy. I love it.
You are currently representing the title holders right now.
Oh, shooting and defending. Don't worry.
It goes down.
Sean will be contending for the title. Here we go. Quiz
Let's do
number 5.
Right. Quiz number 5.
Study. Question number 1. What emotion of God is being emphasized when he is described as consuming fire? A, passionate love. B, compassion of the poor. C, jealousy of idols. D, hate of divorce.
Now, the way it works, you go first. You can pick first because, you know, and if we tie, then it's your belt, okay? But I'll let you pick first.
I think I might be wrong, but I would say B.
You're going to go with compassion for the poor. I don't know this, but I'm going to say passionate love. I'm going to go passionate love.
Correct answer is
jealousy. We both wrong. Wow.
Jealousy of idols.
Jealousy of idols. So it is 0-0. Yeah.
I thought compassion
is that
for the poor.
Yeah, that might be an Old Testament guy.
I give people $1 all the time.
Right. So consuming fire, the jealousy of idols. Okay, yeah. I can see that. The Old Testament guy was burning up
I can see yours.
Baal and all them people.
You could see compassion for the poor.
Yeah, I could see that too.
Yeah, because we treat the people that are less fortunate than us like doo-doo.
I thought I knew this one, but this is
okay. This one,
the second one. I thought I knew, but I don't know this.
Whose spirit visits Saul in Endor? A, David. B, Samuel. C, fish. D, Elijah.
Dang, man, you gotta turn the level down. This is all Madden.
Is all Madden.
I told you this one was gonna be tough.
It's D.
You're gonna go D, Elijah. You know what? I'll see, but I want to. I think I felt like it's the prophet Elijah too. He was like, he's a prophet because this is before Saul became Paul on the road to. Because I thought Jesus, but that's Damascus.
But it would be.
But in Endor, I don't know.
It was Elijah.
I'm gonna go Elijah too. I was gonna go Elijah. I'm not just copying Shang. I'm gonna go
Elijah.
Samuel. What?
Samuel.
The prophet, King David's prophet, Samuel. From 1 Samuel.
Elijah was the prophet.
What? I mean, Elijah is a prophet, but he was
that's the one I thought. Was it
because there's Elijah, Elisha.
Okay.
But during King David's reign, Samuel was the prophet.
We're both 2 for.
We're over 2.
0-0.
So I gotta go different than you on this one, just because.
You're gonna have to.
Because even if I tie you, I lose.
Your bets, you guys need to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Question number 3. For all the marbles, what does the psalmist suggest in Psalm 98? The floods or river do to praise God. A, clap their hands. B, recede. C, ride higher. D, overflow riverbanks. E, team with fish.
Jeez Louise.
These are tough, man.
So the psalmist is King David. He wrote, right? Well, I mean, so he wrote the Psalms of the Old Testament. Clap my hands.
I'm gonna know which one I'm going with.
You go with it.
I already know.
So I gotta go different than you.
I'm going with A.
You're gonna go with A, clap their hands. Whew. I'm gonna go with D.
Oh, okay.
D.
Shang has gone with A, clap their hands. Sean goes with E, team with fish.
No, D.
No, you said
sorry.
Yeah,
D.
D.
D. Overflow riverbanks.
Correct answer is A, clap
Wow! And still. Wow, I got the nerve to have a podcast called Comedian Bible Study, and I'm getting my behind whooped.
I'd like to thank all the people that helped me train. I think this was, it was a lot of
prophets, the judges,
the prophets, the judges. I think that I'm pretty sure Elijah was there on my shoulder, guiding me. And I'd like to thank all the people. I want to say Freddie Pacheco, the fight doctor. I've always looked up to you. Thanks a lot. Just like Jesus, when I'm cut, I heal.
There you go. It took, oh man, got up in 3 days, man. Look,
but
man,
no, I immediately thought A.
I thought Lazarus had a good comeback, brother. You had a good comeback.
Yeah, so that means okay, but no, because
it still stays here. I gotta keep it for the next
I know,
week.
but we both were wrong on 2.
Yeah.
Because I really thought it was Elijah.
Yeah, that's crazy. I gotta get up in this Bible more. But
See,
Shane,
I've actually read, I'd say, the bulk of the Bible from from 8 till I was 18.
Wow. Dang, yeah, your grandma had you like memorizing verses.
Because she was cool about it. She didn't
Yeah.
Yeah. She still was like, be good.
Was she funny? Like in the pulpit? Or was she?
No, she wasn't funny.
Wasn't funny at all?
Wasn't funny at all. But
you got some of your speaking, obviously, just to get
I
up
got
in
it
front
from my pops.
Your pops.
My pops. But I think that she was forceful about it, but if I didn't get it, wouldn't like slap me to the ground.
Right.
And I think that that's the problem I have with some of the pastors now that I see that immediately go fire and brimstone, give me money, fire and brimstone,
right,
instead of guided. Just like the guy with the sign. And people think I'm making it up. There's literally that dude been out there. He's in Hollywood.
Yeah.
And he yells at people. He's just mean.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the best way to get you to.
Yeah. You don't want to be angry. You want to be shangry.
Well, yeah, Shangri.
I
didn't come up with that. I didn't come up with that. It was another comic. I give it to him.
Yeah,
Mark Howard was like, because it was a bit. I was mad. I was mad about police brutality. I did a joke about it, and I came off stage. He said, "Man, you were real shangry on that bit," and that's where it came from. So
it's very
Mark
specific
Howard.
because it has a purpose,
right? And
I
was like, I'm tired of cops.
A God-driven purpose. In my opinion.
I was just tired of cops coming up with reasons like, hey, I know he was 12. He looked like he was trying to jump me.
Man.
And then, what's the kid? The guy shot the kid. He was like 12 years old.
Trayvon Martin.
Oh, wait.
No, it wasn't Trayvon. He was a kid.
It was you mean Tamir Rice, the one with the gun? Tamir Rice, yeah. He had a toy gun.
And the toy gun had a yellow tip on it, and they still, in like 9 seconds, came up and just popped him.
Yeah.
Crazy, man.
He was in a park, right?
He was in a park.
Yeah, and so I was really mad. I was like, dude, you could have just said freeze or yelled at him or something, anything but just dropping.
Right. Is that more normally where your best creativity comes from, like that impetus to being upset?
No, but that run I was.
Yeah. No, I mean I like that energy. It has certain energy to it when you get
chill, dude. Or just say freeze, drop it,
right,
something.
Right.
Don't just immediately pull your gun and pop And then they made the parents pay for the funeral. I was like, God, wow. So that's why I think my
Ohio trip. That's in Ohio, I think, right? Like Cleveland or something.
It's crazy, man. Yeah, but you're from a place that's pretty nutty.
Oh yeah, I'm not comparing. Yeah.
No, Florida, pretty nutty right now.
Yeah, we wilding out, man.
Yeah.
But I know, hey Shang. So guys, if you haven't already, check out Shang and Shangri, Amazon Prime, Apple TV.
Yeah.
What else you got? I mean, if you follow him on Instagram. He's popping always.
Yeah. Instagram is @comedian Shang. Threads, I'm rocking with that now, which is really good. You should get on that.
What's it? Social media?
Yeah, Threads. It's the fastest growing social media in the history of ever.
Why you didn't tell me?
It's that new Instagram thing.
It's basically Twitter.
Yeah, it's Instagram's version of Twitter.
Oh.
And it's very popular. 70 million people in 3 days. 130 million people in a week, which is bananas.
That's crazy. That's
nobody
wild.
like Facebook, Twitter. Nobody's done it like that.
Wow.
So I'm rocking on that. It's the same comedian Shang. And I'm working on my next special, which is going to have a through line about my family, and also talking about how we need to figure out a way to get through what I consider the shit show.
Yeah.
That's going on, and it's going to be called "Don't Be Yogurty." Don't be yogurty.
Yeah.
Don't be yogurty.
I've seen you working some of that out.
I'm working it out now, where it's
I
like
love it.
in yogurty, like we need to make some changes, and if we don't make changes, we shouldn't be mad about what happens to us.
I love it, man.
My global warming joke right now has been murdering, but because I'm like, yo, we don't have another Earth to go to. We need to stop it now. So I've been joking about that, and it's funny. Somebody came up, but what do you want corporations to do?
Right.
Stop messing the Earth up, goofy asses.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Hey, man. I want to have you back on because we talked about John.
But see, we didn't get to hardly any of the questions. I know.
And that's what's so good. Like, I hope I could get some time from you. Like,
for sure.
I've already, you know, I know.
I would have said no. I would have been like, no, I'm not with it. No. See,
but
we're done, right?
This as a jump off point, but
we're done, right?
Well, basically,
you guys are wrapping up, I think.
I'll just tell them, hey, guys, follow us at Comedian Bible Study. We do the weekly every Wednesday. I hit up guys from around the country, and this is going to raise my profile if they know I know Shang. Guys, hit me up. If you don't live in LA, eventually I do want to get all the LA comics here at some point of all different religions and backgrounds, theological ideas. So please, you know, hit me up at Comedian Bible Study on Instagram. The podcast is available right now. The Chris Estrada episode was the first one, came out today, July 28th. This is going to come out in about 5-6 weeks. We got Jeff Dye and all these other guys. Anyway, when it's out, you looking at me now. So why am I saying this? That don't make no damn sense. It means it's already
you're
out.
Looking at me
so
right
you're looking
now.
at me knowing that it's out because it's the future. So anyway, look at other stuff, Spotify, Apple, YouTube. Thank you guys for listening. See you next time. Peace.
I'm sorry. You're like, but you're looking at me now, so you pretty much
gotta know. You know where to find the damn thing because you're looking at it.
When are you going to talk to me about it? I'm talking to you now.